good afternoon. It's Wednesday, October 19th, and welcome to Everyday Talk 24/7. Continuing in our series of getting a vision for what a future husband would look like as opposed to a boyfriend. We've culturally, both as a church, as individuals, as families, as Americans, as people of Western society, we have bought into this idea of having boyfriends and then maybe graduating up to husbands. The problem is that a boyfriend is not someone who's going to be a particularly good role model for a husband. So instead of looking for what will make a good boyfriend, let's focus on what will make a good husband, a good future husband. And this is whether you're a parent working with your child, whether you are the young woman who is considering this relationship, if you want to be working with, involving with other people, if you want to have words of counsel to give to someone to evaluate the kind of relationship that they're in, this is for you. So future husbands, what should they look like? Not what a good boyfriend look like, but what would a future husband look like? Because a future husband is someone who's interested in long-term commitment. A boyfriend is by definition interested in a short-term commitment. We're going to talk about what spiritual care looks like today. And that spiritual care is something that I'm not going to have very many actual quote-unquote Bible references. But rather, these are taken from my years of experience in working with people in counseling and broad biblical principles. So Ephesians 5, 1 Peter 3, 1 Corinthians 13, Psalm 103, Galatians 5. The passages are just woven all through this. The Beatitudes, they're all in here. Rather than list them out, these just all flow from those passages. If you have questions about them, I'll be happy to supply the specifics. But this is about what I've seen in terms of just what does it look like to be someone who's going to be not a perfect, but a future husband who's someone who's really committed to God and therefore who can be really committed to his future wife. The idea here is not to look at the obvious markers of spirituality. How many times you read the Bible, how many times you go to church, those kinds of things. Those are fine. But lots of folks do that. Lots of abusers do that. Lots of false teachers do that. So I want to get beyond that level. So your future husband, he will look at you through the eyes of grace and gratitude, as opposed to the eyes of performance. How well are you pleasing me? How well are you doing what I want? Even though they may make that sound spiritual, that's not a biblical perspective. He will love the Bible as a pathway to know God, and not as some kind of a performance gauge or a set of rules or guidelines to get God's blessing. This is important. Your future husband, if you're going to be able to trust him, he will not use the Bible as a way to control you or to manipulate you into honoring him. See, his main goal is not about having you honor him. His main goal is to help you, together with him, bring honor to God. Abusers, people who are power hungry, often use the Bible in this way to attempt to control women. That's not what I'm talking about. It's the love of the Bible because it shows us our hearts. A future husband dedicated to serving God will cherish your weaknesses. That's right. He will cherish your weaknesses. Instead of allowing for them or patiently putting up with them or, oh yeah, you'll work through this, you'll get better. He will see that those weaknesses are way into your heart. It's part of who you are. If he's going to love you well, he's going to have to work with you and honor you and use your weaknesses as a way to show you the mercy and love of God rather than beat you up over it. He will be more broken about his own sins than he will about yours. But he will also be relentless about his own growth, but then positively patient and understanding about supporting you in your growth. If it comes to be all about you and you have to change so that he can change, that's a huge red flag, like the size of this whole screen. Avoid it. He will have compassion for your hurt and will not be devastated by your sadness. He will long to know your joy and your pain. That means that you have to let him know where you are. If he runs from your hurt, if he can't grasp your pain and the things you struggle with, he for sure won't be able to do it in marriage. No matter how attractive he is, no matter how much fun he is, how much he seems to understand, if he's going to follow Christ and love you, he will embrace your pain, know where you are, and know how to help you. Your future husband will be a man who prays with compassion, with humility, with kindness, with brokenness, and with trust in God's faithfulness. His prayers will not be performance-based. His prayers will not be designed to make him look good. His prayers will be an openness of his heart before God. He will pray not to bring honor to himself, but to bring your deepest needs before God and his deepest needs. He won't have a false prayer language or a false humility. He will be broken and honest in his everyday prayer, and he will pray frequently. He won't be a stranger to prayer. It's huge. Your future husband will not keep a record of your problems and sins so that he's always kind of reading them off to you, reminding you of them so you can grow, supposedly. That's not love, because love doesn't keep a record of wrongs. It helps us grow. But he will be committed each day to bringing the grace of God before you in a fresh way, which gives you hope to defeat the things that you're trying to struggle with. And it'll be an encouragement to you rather than sort of just, well, you got to do a little bit better. After a while, that gets pretty old and not building at all. He'll be a man of hope and not a man who craves attention. Hope is other-centered. Hope has encouraging thoughts about God. Craving attention is just about things that will make him look good. And then lastly, your future husband will be someone whom you can trust to help you know God more deeply and to love God more deeply. He'll be in it for that bigger picture of bringing honor to God and not about pleasing himself. And that just kind of scratches the surface. I could spend videos and videos on each one of these points. As I said, from the premarital counseling I've done, from the experience I've had, from marriage counseling that I've done, these are the areas where we're lacking biblically. And those passages I mentioned at the beginning, they are all about these things I just laid out for you. So yeah, that's spiritual care. It doesn't look like the kind of thing you can measure in public, but it is the thing that you can know in your heart. This is what will distinguish a future husband who is committed to you as opposed to a boyfriend who is committed to the short term. Again, give me your thoughts, feedback. I'd love to hear those things. And Lord willing, we'll see you tomorrow. Check us out every day, Talk 24/7. If you haven't subscribed, turn on post notifications. Videos will come right to you. Again, thank you so much for being here. Love your thoughts and feedback about this series. It's really important. Have a great day. Bye-bye.